In pursuit of our country to realize its Vision 2030 blueprint, several sectors have seen the injection of extra finances as well as new strategies to revamp them. The transport sector is, for example, witnessing a great improvement, with most of our roads being tarmacked and superhighways taking shape to serve the capital city. On the ICT sector, a lot of emphasis has been factored in, especially with the coming of 4 optic fiber cables to connect Kenya with the rest of the world.
We have laid robust IT infrastructure across the entire country. We have the submarine cables, 4 of them. Right? I mean, 3 of them here today, Easy, Teams, and Seacom, but Lion coming very soon. We've also laid a lot of terrestrial fiber network across the entire country. We have the national optical fiber backbone. And the idea for this is to connect the entire country, such that even Konza will be a nucleus for other IT, other BPO parks across the entire country.
To this end, the government under the Ministry of Information and Communications set aside a 5,000-acre piece of land in Malili Mavoko municipality to set up a major technopolis named Konza ICT City at an expected cost of 700 billion Kenya shillings.
The entire budget of government, $21 billion, which would mean that we would put it together 10 years to build that thing. They will not raise that money. So we are looking at the private sector. This is what you call a PPP, public-private partnership. The government facilitates. The government came up with the land and is telling the private sector, we are creating a special economic zone, bring your money and invest here.
This is one of Kenya's Vision 2030 flagship projects, the country's blueprint for attaining high income status by the year 2030.
So does the second corridor, the Lapsset corridor, the Lamu Port corridor that includes a port, a railway line, a highway, 3 resort cities, 3 airports, a pipeline, possibly a refinery. All this go towards powering Vision 2030 and allowing, ultimately, what Konza offers, the direct creation of employment, decent jobs.
Konza City will offer probably the best location to do business in Africa and will be Kenya's most attractive international investment opportunity. The new city will provide some of the most valuable and sought-after real estate in the country, served by excellent communications and the best ICT infrastructure in Kenya. All this is set within a high-quality master-planned environment.
Konza would accommodate the new investments in areas that will create more jobs than any other sector has done before. In the ICT sector, for example, we are looking at developing what you call business process outsourcing, back office, software development, animation. This is content development, especially on TV. So the major subcomponent of that city would be a media city.
The master plan for the city is based on successful new town projects around the world, put together by an international team of experts drawing on best practices from places such as the UK, China, Brazil and other countries to ensure global competitiveness and best international standards. It includes space for a landmark shopping mall with major retailers, office blocks built to the standards multinational companies expect, and hotels designed for international business travelers and tourists.
The reason why we are doing this campaign is because we have seen many foreign companies and we are concerned that we did not build this city for foreigners. Of course, we have had local interests like Safaricom, Equity Bank, Seven Seas, Aga Khan Hospital, and Nairobi Hospital. So we have seen some local interests to put up there.
After the setup, the development of the park will be driven by the private sector in our country, thus the need for more people to take up the challenge and apply for investment opportunities through the Ministry of Information and Communications.
There has never been such an opportunity before. Even the young Kenyans you can come together through chamas, for example. The multinational hotels that want space there, they don't buy the real estate, they lease it. So if you came together as a chama and they put a deposit and you acquire a mortgage for the facility, then a multinational hotel takes it. In the next 5 to 10 years, you own a hotel which would run into billions.
Dubbed Africa's Silicon Savannah, echoing California's Silicon Valley, which is the global home of computerization, Konza will be expected to revamp economic growth, just like the American Silicon Valley, where most universities are located and lots of technology innovations come from.
What we are doing there is to bring the university, the industry, and the government. That is what you call a triple helix. That is what develops the country, because you have the research element, you have the industry, you have the government coming with policy and the facilitation. And once you put them together, it impacts on the graduates who come out of those universities, because they teach them to be able to be productive. What we've been doing, we teach academics, and you find engineers who are coming out of universities, they are not usable until you tweak them to be used. That is why you have a huge unemployed, degreed Kenyans.
Africa, and particularly Kenya, is not the place to dump technology. It is already home to technologies already being sought after world over.
We have such products as Ushahidi that came out of Nairobi, right? Young Kenyans coming up with Ushahidi, a product that has been used to help earthquake victims as far as Haiti. We have had M-Pesa coming out of a place like Nairobi. And so because of that, and because of course we are in the savannah, the term Silicon Savannah has become the term to which the IT revolution in Kenya is referred to. And it has stuck. And we would like to promote the idea of a Silicon Savannah, because Nairobi and Kenya in general is the world's Silicon Savannah, akin to the Silicon Valley of the United States and Bangalore of India.
It's against this background that Nairobi University Fab Lab has taken up to incubate any technology that any Kenyan has and which has the potential to make people's lives easier.
We are mandated by the Kenyan government, we are run by taxpayer money, of course, to facilitate for such ideas to go into the marketplace. So our job then is to help to refine the idea. It may not be a complete idea, so we have our own input. So I would really encourage Kenyans of any stripe, it may be something to do with agriculture, it could be something to do with mobile phone technology, whatever it might be, maybe car repair or something like that. Just come forward. There is a facilitation, there's even money available to try and take that idea, if it's good, into the marketplace. And this is the only way Kenya is going to develop.
Phase 1 of the Konza project will see the construction of a science park, business process outsourcing center, international finance center, tourism facilities, and a research center.
Why do we call it Technology City? Because it is built around the nucleus of technology. We want a huge BPO park, but also a science and technology park with a residential, both mid-scale, upscale, and low-scale housing. They have to eat. They have to have lots of support services, which is now you begin to build support services. Banking becomes important, right? Hotels become important. Restaurants become important. And so you begin to build a city, but you say, look, if we're going to have hotels, we shouldn't just have hotels for the people who work there, live there. Let's have hotels for the people who shall be visiting there. Let's have a conference center. Let's have world-class hotels. So this is how you begin to say, use the nucleus of a technology city or a BPO park and the science and technology park to actually build a city that creates many more opportunities.
When complete, the city is expected to employ a 200,000-strong workforce in the core business activities and improve the livelihoods of people living around the area, and also provide a gateway to the East African region.
The transport that we'll put around Konza and linking Nairobi, it will be a cashless environment. Most people have suffered under matatu. A cashless environment takes into consideration of smart transport, meaning that you can swipe your card, you pay, and the money is at the back there. There is no loopholes for stealing.
The central business district in Konza city will include a small stadium, public entertainment venues, concert halls and sports facilities. The commercial engine of the new city will be the BPO Technopark, a cluster of technology businesses, financial services firms and other enterprises centered on the state-of-the-art business and science park. The BPO Technopark marks Kenya's arrival as the home to multinationals looking to streamline by outsourcing the next low-cost, high-quality destination.
An American company like Microsoft may have some programming tasks to be done. Maybe they want to produce the next generation of Windows. They have two options. They can hire American programmers, Indian programmers, or Kenyan programmers.
The cost of labor in our country is lower than that in developed countries. Therefore, many international organizations will be willing to outsource the services from Konza, hence a win-win situation for both ends.
The cost of a Kenyan programmer is likely to be lower than the American one or even the Indian one. So the American software company will then outsource that job to Konza City, and hopefully multimedia students will also have a space there so that they could be contributing towards that job and getting some money by the side.
Konza City will be a place where it will be able to fish technologies to come together, to be able to think as one mind and try to come up with solutions to various problems in various untouched fields such as the voting system. We have the online shopping, and I'm very sure if that city will come up, Kenya will be more safe and more technological.
If Kenya was to adopt the model taken by the Philippines, which saw its GDP increase by 0.2% and its services sector rise by 6.2% between 2004 and 2007, then this country could equally see its economy expand significantly, driven by a growth in IT services sector.
I would urge all Kenyans to take a look at the master plan that is now ready and available at the ICT board. Take a look at all the various components of Konza as a city and see where they feel they want to participate, where they're most competent to participate, and apply.
The government will use the construction to woo organizers of the GSMA annual conference to be hosted in Kenya in 2018. The annual ICT conference is usually hosted in one city for 5 consecutive years before moving to another, and requires massive investment in accommodation facilities as well as communication and transport infrastructure to cater for over 60,000 delegates who attend. All these facilities for that conference will have been put up to ensure that the conference is held here in our country.
Kenyans, you have the vision, yeah? You have the government facilitating that vision. Why would you be left behind asking, is it going to work or not? You need to wake up, take advantage of this opportunity and move forward. Instead of waiting until foreigners have taken up the space and you start saying, why did you not tell us that there was such an investment? We have told Kenyans there is this investment, bring your money, you would be able to make good returns and you'll be happy with this.
Konza is where Africa's Silicon Savannah begins.